In my 10 years or so now covering the RV industry, I've heard a whole lot of statements about how the RV industry works that are just flat out wrong. Often they're in the comments of my videos. One of those statements is something along the lines of every RV that comes out of Indiana is just slapped together with Lippert products in a few hours. And a lot of people blame Lippert, who definitely is the largest manufacturer of RV components, for some of the problems in quality that the RV industry has. And a lot of people think many of the other brands that you've heard about, like Dometic and MORryde, are owned by Lippert, and that's just not the case, though Lippert does manufacture stuff under all sorts of brand name. So in this video, I'm not looking to defend Lippert or anyone else, but I want to show you how broad the scope of RV component suppliers is, hopefully to show that there really are a decent amount of options manufacturers have when it comes to choosing supplier partners when building an RV. I'm Jason Epperson, and this is RV Miles. Okay, so what I want to do in this video is give you sort of an overview of some of the major players that supply RV components. What I'm not going to do is talk about some of the companies that are specialized suppliers, like Gen Y hitches or motorhome chassis makers like Spartan. This is mainly going to be about the larger companies that many parts and materials are sourced from. But first off, let's go ahead and talk about Lippert Components, or LCI Industries, which is their legal company name. They're huge. They're a publicly traded company listed on the New York Stock Exchange, the 140 manufacturing and distribution facilities located throughout North America, Africa, and Europe, and they work with manufacturing partners all around the world. They supply components for not just RVs, but automobiles, watercraft, and prefab homes. They have over 12,000 employees, and they make so many different products, from windows and doors to slide-out systems, electrical components, mattresses, locks, furniture, jacks, leveling and control systems, axles, appliances, so much more. Besides all of this stuff manufactured under the Lippert name, Lippert has two main RV-focused subsidiaries you may have heard of. Kurt, which makes hitches, hitch parts, pin boxes, and more recently, suspension systems like their independent suspension and their touring coil suspension. And Furrion. Furrion is a company that Lippert acquired a few years ago, which is Lippert's now appliance company mainly. They make air conditioners, refrigerators, ranges, water heaters, electric fireplaces, camera systems, stuff like that. Everchill refrigerators and Greystone appliances are Furrion products. So those are the two major Lippert subsidiaries, but Lippert also manufactures items under a whole lot of other brand names like Thomas Payne Furniture and Solera Awnings, Gerard Water Heaters, Happy Jack Sofas. So could you build an RV that's mostly, if not all, Lippert products? Well, you could come pretty close. And there's one element that they do have a very strong lock on, and that's the frames that most trailers are built on. Some folks say that Lippert frames are on 80 to 90% of the fifth wheels and travel trailers sold today. I don't know about the accuracy of that number, but Lippert certainly supplies the vast majority, and I'm sure it's somewhere in that range. Some companies build their own frames, notable examples being Outdoors RV in Oregon and Oliver in Tennessee. But there is another major frame manufacturer that supplies the Elkhart, Indiana area that's gaining more and more market share: Norco. Norco makes stuff for the broader transportation industry, and their main RV-focused group is called BAL. BAL makes the NXG frame for travel trailers and fifth wheels. Instead of welded beams like Lippert uses, BAL rivets together rolled steel. I'm not going to get into the advantages each provides, but it's a different option that a lot of RV manufacturers are starting to use. In fact, our 37 RV Miles fifth wheel collaboration with Sabre RV is built on an NXG frame. BAL also makes the frame-related components that an RV manufacturer will need, including jacks, suspensions, and even slide room mechanisms. But that doesn't necessarily mean a manufacturer that uses a BAL frame will use all BAL slide mechanisms and jacks, and the same thing for Lippert. They can mix and match all over the place. The next major manufacturer you probably have heard of is Dometic. Dometic is another huge company with 8,000 employees worldwide. They're based out of Sweden. And like Lippert, they supply not only the RV industry, but also marine and various other transportation and housing-related industries. For RV manufacturers, Dometic makes toilets and water heaters, furnaces, vents, refrigerators, cooktops, sinks, lights, blinds, awnings, and so much more. Both Dometic and Lippert also make lots of aftermarket products like camp chairs and tables and coolers. Airxcel is a supplier group that has lots of sub-brands, some that you've surely heard of. They make Coleman Mach air conditioners, AquaHot hydronic heating systems, Max Air fans, MCD shades, Suburban appliances, Valerium awnings, and Solace furniture. Their Clear Vision branch makes all sorts of glass products for RVs, windows and shower doors and cabinet inserts. Their Vixen Composites brand makes trailer and fifth wheel front caps. Airxcel makes baggage doors and latches. Dicor Sealants is owned by them, and Dicor also makes electrical panels and components. Patrick Industries is another huge publicly traded company that makes products for all sorts of industries, but primarily RVs. They make flooring and wall panels, hardware, solar components, faucets and sinks, countertops, cabinet doors, and more. More in a moment, but first, a message from the sponsor of this video, a place where you can buy a lot of these components, Etrailer.com.
Ever feel like finding the right RV part is like searching for a needle in a haystack? Enter Etrailer.com. Whether you're puzzled about which product is right for you or how to install it, Etrailer has got you covered. Their US-based customer service is available by chat or phone 7 days a week, and with expert Q&As, helpful articles, and tons of reviews and install videos, you'll tackle any RV problem with confidence. Etrailer strives to get their hands on everything they sell, and their website is full of overviews, reviews, buying guides, and tutorials. And it's not just RV parts, it's towing and vehicle accessories, camping supplies, and more. Head to the link in the description and get free shipping on orders over $99.
You might know Thetford Industries for their RV toilets and aftermarket products like sewer hoses, portable waste tanks, and drop-ins, but they also make refrigerators, and they just acquired, like today as I'm recording this, Dave Carter and Associates, which is a company that makes or supplies everything from RV outlets and USB ports to breaker panels and other electrical components to all sorts of RV plumbing supplies, carpet padding, shower walls, ceiling fans, fire extinguishers, smoke detectors, and everything in between. They don't necessarily make everything they sell, but they work with all sorts of partner manufacturers, and then they distribute it not only in Elkhart, but all across the country through their 11 distribution centers that reach a lot of the smaller RV manufacturers that aren't in Elkhart, and of course RV dealers to supply you with replacement parts all around the country. MORryde makes lots of aftermarket products, but also supplies the RV industry with OEM equipment like step systems, suspension equipment, fifth wheel pin boxes, TV mounts, toy hauler ramp doors, and more. Truma offers water heaters, heating systems, air conditioners, and refrigeration. Dexter makes axles, brake assemblies, wheels, fenders, and more. And then there are lots of companies you've never heard of that supply flooring and screws and glue and televisions, tank valves. So much from so many suppliers goes into building every RV on the market. So, look, a manufacturer can choose a toilet from Dometic, Lippert, or Thetford. They can choose, and they do choose, air conditioners from Furrion, Truma, and Coleman Mach. They have lots and lots of options when it comes to the components that make up an individual RV. They choose things based on a lot of factors like cost and their needs for that individual unit, and they choose them from a variety of suppliers. They don't just pick one and stick with it. They mix and match from everywhere. The reality is that it's complex. And I'm not saying that any of these brands are better than others. Some brands make some things well and other things not so well. It's really hard to judge components by the parent company that manufactures them. Same thing with RVs. RV manufacturers are looking to assemble their RVs with some varying metrics involving the cost of the component, the time and cost of installation, and yes, the quality of that component. RV manufacturers don't love warranty claims. It's just that often the cheaper product makes the increase in warranty claims worth it. Now, another big thing I often hear is that there's sort of this big incestual thing in Elkhart where all of these manufacturers are congregated that keeps quality low. Again, it's complex, but the reason 80% of RVs are built in northern Indiana is convenience. Imagine shipping just 10 trailer frames across the country or 50 air conditioning units. It gets costly to source all of these parts. It's also very difficult for an RV manufacturer to design and get some of these components built when maybe they're only selling 100 of that unit in a year. If an RV manufacturer has an idea for a product like the Lippert folding patio that's on our Sabre, They'll go to a company like Lippert or MORryde or Airxcel and say, hey, can you build this for us? And usually the trade-off is that that RV manufacturer gets it exclusive for a year before you start seeing it everywhere when that supplier gets to supply it to all the different brands out there. Just like components, there are bad RVs manufactured in Elkhart and there are great ones. A lot of the suppliers make great products and not so great products. And overall, I don't know that you can easily judge the quality of an RV based on where it's built or on seeing a big name like Lippert on an individual component. It really comes down to how much money that RV manufacturer is willing to spend on a component, how good of a job they do installing it, and what companies stand behind what. I'm sorry, I wish things were more simple, but as in all things in life, if you're not confused, you're not paying attention. Thanks so much for being here. If you got something out of this video, hit the like button. If you want more like it, subscribe, and we'll see you next time. Bye, everybody.